Good evening, everyone. You're listening to Red Pill 78. I am the Corruption Detector, and this is your Red Pill News. We're going to start with some Twitter tweets from today. First of all, I have a post for you on my timeline from In the Matrix by way of Swampy's Ghost. And this is ripped from the boards on 8chan. And it's some questions getting us thinking. Ask yourself why 90% of our carrier fleets are currently docked in the USA for the first time in our naval history. Ask yourself why pictures were released this week of Navy SEAL teams in Iraq and submarines with DDS units returning to port. Ask yourself why DOE would tweet a picture of the U.S. power grid right before the Queen's non-explosion explosion. Is it because we have a space-deployed and or hypersonic drone-deployed EMP weapon that makes all navies and aircraft and missiles and metal obsolete? Why risk our metal in a war zone? Safer here? Military would never increase risk by bringing home entire carrier fleets, so this act must reduce risk of being harmed by our own EMP weaponry. Lodestar, EMP. Now ask yourself, if you were preparing to fight a battle against them in 2014 and you had to establish an order of operations based on risk and reward, where would you start your plan and where would you end it? Get Trump elected as POTUS, legally, ethically. If not, Plan Z. And we all know Plan Z was the military coup. Take over their comms, satellite, ULF, VLF, Hawaii, Space Force. Gain control of rogue nukes and biologicals, North Korea, Syria, Iran, Ukraine. Weaken media mind control on population, Q, Anons, 4chan, 8chan, Twitter, algorithms. Overcome Obama's secret pardons. Catch them in new crimes post-1/2017. Sever financial funding, Loop Capital, sanctions, tariffs, executive orders, SA+++, Saudi Arabia. Strengthen home front, tax cuts, military budgets, jobs, not mobs. Infiltrate and entrap non-governmental organizations, Black Lives Matter, Antifa, Red Cross, USAID. Block human trafficking routes, border, wall, ports of Houston, Long Beach, Miami. Wait for nations to wake up, catch up. Yellow vests, Brexit, Italy, Brazil, Hungary. Establish control of Senate and SCOTUS, Gorsuch, Kavanaugh, 53-47. Gitmo. Bring back gold to end the Fed. Swift keys, gold deposits, and blockchains. Seize infrastructure assets that can be used to harm us. Power plants, PG&E, Con Ed, food, water, and shipping. Destroy their bolt holes with EMP, not explosions, under airports, power plants, reactors, and cemeteries. It sure seems like the stage is very close to being completely set for the takedown, which must be sudden. Nothing to see here. Excellent post. Really gets you thinking. And following up on today's earlier story about the transformer explosion in New York City, just to refresh everyone's mind, or if you haven't seen the earlier video, there was this transformer explosion in New York City, in Queens. It was a Con Edison transformer. All right, and here we have an article from Pix11. This is a New York station. Night sky over Queen turns blue after electrical fault at Queens Con Edison power plant causes arc flash. Let's check out their reporting.
A lot of folks thought this could have been no extraterrestrial activity here, just a relatively minor fire that caused plenty of widespread panic all across the city, even far as New Jersey, as the night sky was turned bright blue. Something out of a science fiction end-of-days thriller appearing to play out over the Manhattan skyline, a blue hue drawing thousands out of their apartments in fear overnight.
I thought maybe like there was an airplane attack or that there was a big explosion, a bomb or something.
It was not an alien invasion as clarified by the NYPD on Twitter, nor was it nefarious.
I heard a big boom and the lights flickered and I was alone in my apartment, really freaking scared. So I went outside to see what was going on. The whole sky was lit up. It was electrifying, blue, green, white.
Con Edison says a transformer fire at its substation in Queens caused the bright blue glow from an electrical arc.
There was a equipment malfunction that I'm being told by Con Edison happens pretty much routine. However, this time it caused a spectacular light show, which caused public alarm.
The faulty piece of equipment was driven away from the scene on 20th Avenue in Astoria, while service was quickly restored to most neighborhoods.
Something exploding and everything, the light go out.
At LaGuardia, the power surge forced the airport to run on a backup generator and temporary ground stop for all incoming and outgoing flights. Edwin Jennings got stuck in an elevator for over an hour.
We were told nothing for about 20 minutes, and then people started banging on the door and going, "Are you okay?" And we got no information, didn't know what was happening.
Ultimately, no one was hurt, and the city's electrical system is now stable. And all is relatively back to normal this morning.
All right, so before that happened, there was an internet outage with CenturyLink, a nationwide internet and 911 company. This has to do with the text message that, the message that I showed you that Space Shot sent me that he had gotten earlier today. 911 was disrupted throughout many parts of the company. People were urged to call the full 10-digit number to reach their local police stations. And I'm sure it caused quite a few people a lot of fright and worry. Here is a heat map showing where the majority of the outages were out here in the western United States, but also in the Midwest and out on the East Coast. Pretty scary stuff. So to recap, we have the transformer explosion in Louisiana, we have the transformer explosion in New York City, and we have power outages and 911 outages across the entire United States. What does it mean? Perhaps that post at the beginning of the video has a lot of legitimacy. All right, so in Louisiana, we also had additional transformers exploding. Looks very similar to what we saw in New York. Let's go ahead and take a look.
That's crazy!
And that's pretty much it. So to recap, we've got transformers exploding in Louisiana. Then we've got transformers exploding in, well, actually, I'm sorry. To recap, we've got transformers exploding in Louisiana. Then we've got a nationwide internet and 911 outage. Then we've got explosions of transformers in New York City. all of these things adding up together give that post at the beginning of the video a lot more legitimacy. Now, here is something from Space Shot 76. There's been some weird outages. Yesterday, while I was working, I spoke with someone in Colorado, and they told me that CenturyTel or CenturyLink, an internet backbone company, was down. And so there were several states where there was absolutely no internet. And along with that came these sporadic 911 outages. Now, Space Shot got this text message telling him to use the 10-digit phone number for the police and the fire. Could this be related to the transformer explosion and now power outages in New York? Maybe it's all connected. And someone asked, is 911 down in several states due to arrests being made? Maybe this is happening to keep what's happening under wraps and to keep 911 from being flooded with unnecessary calls from concerned citizens. Just a thought. That is an interesting thought. Now we also have a tweet here from SGT Report and Lionel Media. This is a video that Lionel took last night. It looks to me like he was in New York. I'm going to go ahead and make it big. And we're going to start it from the beginning. Now, everyone take a look. Right here, in the center of the screen, between those two buildings. Look at that. A delta-shaped craft lighting up. Those aren't stars. And it actually, now that I see it, those lights look like they're moving independently of each other. They are. Lining up in formation. Oh my God, look at that. Did you see that? Oh my God. That whole thing didn't play when I watched it before. Let's watch that again. Now, Lionel Media is somebody that I trust. This guy is a legit person. He doesn't come out and just throw out hoax videos. Now here at the end, when they all make formation, it looks like there's almost like the top. Look at that. Are they opening a portal in the sky? And boom, they're gone. Guys, it's happening! All right, and then here is a tweet from Jordan Sather. I'm going to let this play out for itself. Let me rewind it.
Alexa, who is QAnon? Conspiracy theory detailing a supposed secret conspiracy by an alleged deep state against U.S. President Donald Trump and his supporters. The theory began with an October 2017 post on the anonymous... Alexa, who is QAnon? Conspiracy theory detailing a supposed secret conspiracy by an alleged deep state against U.S. President Donald Trump and his supporters. The theory began with an October 2017 post on the anonymous image board 4chan by someone using the trip code Q, a presumably American individual that may have later grown to include multiple individuals, claiming to have access to classified information involving the Trump administration and its opponents in the United States. Is QAnon real? Alexa, is QAnon real? Yes, Q is real.
Oh, that's pretty cute. But then again, we already knew QAnon was real. But this is very interesting that Alexa also is saying that Q is real. All right, on to a little bit of news from the Gateway Pundit. Trump has issued an ultimatum. Fund the wall or the southern border shuts down. Plus, he's going to cut aid to Central America. President Trump gave an ultimatum Friday. Fund the border wall or the southern border will be shut down entirely and Central American aid will be cut off. The president fired off a tweet storm Friday demanding border wall funding and slammed NAFTA. President Trump says we will be forced to close the southern border entirely if the obstructionist Democrats do not give us the money to finish the wall and also change the ridiculous immigration laws that our country is saddled with. Hard to believe there was a Congress and president who would approve. He continues, the United States loses so much money on trade in Mexico under NAFTA. Over $75 billion a year, not including drug money, which would be many times that amount, that I would consider closing the southern border a profit-making operation. We build a wall or close the southern border. Bring our car industry back into the United States where it belongs. Go back to pre-NAFTA, before so many of our companies and jobs were so foolishly sent to Mexico. Either we build, finish the wall, or we close the border. I also noticed that he spelled loses wrong up here. He included an extra O right after he had mentioned that hard to believe there was a Congress and president who would approve. Is that extra O and all these extra O's for Obama? President Trump said the U.S. will be cutting off all aid to Honduras, El Salvador, and Guatemala. Honduras, Guatemala, and El Salvador are doing nothing for the United States but taking our money. Word is that a new caravan is forming in Honduras, and they are doing nothing about it. We will be cutting off aid to all these three countries, taking advantage of the U.S. for years. A partial government shutdown began last weekend after President Trump rejected a stopgap funding bill that was approved in both the Senate and the House, but didn't include the $5 billion for border wall funding. The House reworked the bill, adding $5 billion in border wall funding, which passed in a 215 to 185 vote. The Senate, however, refused to pass the bill after it got bounced back from the House, resulting in a Schumer shutdown. House Democrats are reportedly quietly plotting ways to reopen the government while stiffing President Trump every penny of border wall funding as soon as they regain power next week. All right, now I wanted to actually go to a particular post here. Let's see, regarding the border wall funding. This is from December 11th, and I just want to put this out there so everyone maybe feels a little bit better about the situation. You will not win, Pelosi. You didn't think the largest military spending bill in history, fiscal year 2019, wasn't going to indirectly include funding for the wall, did you? Learn the Constitution regarding vested powers of POTUS, regarding matters of national security. This was planned and forecasted as the border funding solution from the beginning. Oh, and he has an embedded tweet from In the Matrix. That's great. Anons had the proof long ago, but shining a light back then would have defeated the primary purpose of showing the public the real objective of the Democrats. Party of open borders, elimination of ICE, elimination of security, defend illegals over Americans, midterm elections. These people are stupid. Q. That's great. Let's go see what In the Matrix had to say. Oh, yes, and here it is. Red Castle, Green Castle. The Army Corps of Engineers is Green Castle. And Red Castle looks like that's their logo. And there's the post from 3/23/18. Clock activated. Red Castle, Green Castle. Well, guys, I guess that means that the Army Corps of Engineers is going to be building the wall, and we don't even have to worry about the funding. The whole point of this exercise is to show the American people what the Democrats care about, and that is not our security. Well, folks, thank you so much for tuning in to Red Pill 78. I am the Corruption Detector. This is your Red Pill News Brief, and I'm going to be putting out some more videos for you this weekend. I hope everyone has enjoyed what I've had to say. Good luck, everyone, and God bless.